We wish to acknowledge our Minister, the Honorable Delroy Chuck, KC, MP, Minister of Justice, our Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Grace and Stuart McFarlane, the Honorable Marcia Bennett, Custos Rotularium of St. Thomas, other custodies, Dr. Novlet Panton, JP, Division Chief, Financial Infrastructure at the Bank of Jamaica, Mr. Vernon James, CEO, TFOB 2021, Trading as Link, other officials in the Ministry of Justice, the Bank of Jamaica, and TFOB joining us online, justices of the peace, members of the media, and others joining us on the platform. At this time, we'll have greetings from the Honorable Custos Marcia Bennett from St. Thomas.
Custos Bennett, we are not hearing you. Are you on? Custos Bennett?
Custos Bennett, you need to unmute your mic. Do that. Minister Chuck, officers from the Bank of Jamaica.
Custos, you may have two devices on. Turn off one, please.
I only have one. Are you hearing me?
We are hearing the Custos, but it is echoing. Try again, Custos. Try again, Custos. Okay, CTD, we will have to postpone Custos greetings towards the end, okay?
Okay.
Getting there.
So can we invite you now, Minister, to provide your remarks?
Okay, let me do, and if she's back on, then you can take her after.
Okay, okay, Minister.
So thank everyone who has taken time out to be on the platform, and also those who have joined us on YouTube and also on PBCJ. This is a very important hour for us. We in Jamaica would like to ensure that every single Jamaican not only know about Jam-Dex, which is the cashless process to engage in transactions, but also that we all start to recognize that technology is the way that we need to engage with in order to make progress in the country. Jamaica is falling behind in the technology revolution. And I'm hoping that the JPs who have joined us, and all the JPs, in fact, will assist and lead the way to ensure that we become not only a cashless society, but a paperless society. I hope that within a matter of months rather than years, that persons will be able to make payments without having to use cash. This is the case in many countries. And until we can get more than 50% of our population using what a cashless system, of which Jam-Dex is an appropriate mechanism, then Jamaica will continue to fall behind. So, Justice of the Peace, I am not the one to explain what Jam-Dex is. I just want you to listen keenly and be the apostles of this process, because it is absolutely important that all Jamaicans learn how to engage in cashless transactions. So thanks to the presenters who are here with us this evening, and all of the Justices of the Peace who have joined us, and also those who have tuned in to PBCJ and YouTube. Thanks, CTD, and we can continue with the presentation.
Thank you again, Minister. Is Costas available? Costas, can you try for us again, please? Costas of St. Thomas, Mrs. Bennett?
I suspect CTD, she may be having technical problems from her end. So proceed with Dr. Panton.
Okay. Joining us from the Bank of Jamaica is Dr. Novlet Panton. Dr. Panton is the Division Chief of the Financial Markets Infrastructure Division at the Bank of Jamaica. She has responsibility for the payment system, cambio and remittance, licensing, as well as the monitoring departments. Her area of responsibility extends to the provision of authorization to payment service providers to issue electronic retail payment services, as well as researching, advising, and implementing fintech innovations. Dr. Panton is the chairperson of the Central Bank Digital Currency Steering Committee, facilitating the piloting and implementation of the country's central bank digital currency. She's also the deputy chair of the Risk Management Committee, a member of the Central Bank's Committee of Administration, as well as a member of the National Payment System Council. Dr. Panton also serves on several international committees, including the CARICOM FinTech Working Group, the Center for Latin American Monetary Studies FinTech Expert Forum, the World Bank Expert Group on Faster Payments, and Western Hemisphere Payments and the Security Settlement Forum. She holds a PhD in Economic Development Policy from the University of the West Indies and is a Justice of the Peace as well as a lay magistrate. We now invite Dr. Panton to address us. Dr. Panton?
Can you hear me? Good evening.
Loud and clear, Dr. Pan.
Okay, hi, good evening. Good evening, Honorable Minister Delroy Chuck, Permanent Secretary, Custis, St. Thomas, and Westmoreland, colleagues from the Ministry of Justice and the Bank of Jamaica, fellow presenter, Mr. Vernon James, all persons on this webinar, and of course, my colleagues from the BOJ, I think I said that, and of course, fellow justices of the peace. I'm going to be sharing my presentation with you. And if you're seeing my presentation, just let me know, please. Are you seeing the presentation?
Yes, we're seeing your presentation,
I'm seeing it.
Dr. Panton.
Okay. This afternoon, I've been invited to speak on Central Bank Digital Currency, CBDC. And what I want to do is walk you through a presentation to answer questions that I know that you have in your heads. and others too. I want to start by talking about what is digital currency. I want to walk you through what is central bank digital currency. Something that is often taken for people say that CBDC is cryptocurrency. I want to distinguish between CBDC and cryptocurrency. I also want to talk about what would have motivated the Bank of Jamaica, with the full support and leadership of the government of Jamaica, to introduce a central bank digital currency. We want to talk about the name, the logo, the tagline. Importantly, persons ask questions to do with the technology behind CBDC and the design. We will be speaking about wallets and what we call Jam-Dex wallets. Importantly, for you to know, my colleagues, where can Jam-Dex wallet be used? Where can you use Jam-Dex? We want to talk about what is in it for you. What are the benefits? Whenever you speak about digitization, there are always discussions with respect to security and risk. So we want to talk about that. We're not going to shy away from that. Then we want to talk about government incentives and payments that have already gone through using Jam-Dex. And then I want to take you to what next. Okay, digital currency is an asset existing only in a digital form. It is the overarching umbrella term which includes virtual currency, often used interchangeably with cryptocurrency. However, cryptocurrency is only just one type of virtual currency. CBDC, we talk about central bank digital currency. It is not a deposit. It is cash in your purse. In this case, your digital purse or digital wallet. In the same way that you think of you having cash in your pocket, just think of having that same cash in a digital form. CBDC will serves as an addition to the current pool of payment instruments in Jamaica. When we talk about payment instruments, we're talking about like your credit card, your debit card, your checks. So think of CBDC as just an additional payment instrument. It is not e-money, which is a liability of e-money issuers. CBDC, and I notice I say Jamaica CBDC does not earn interest. Cash in your pocket. Think about this. When you go to the bank and take out cash and put in your pocket, the minute it goes into your pocket, it stops earning interest. CBDC is solely for domestic use only and will not be used for cross-border transactions. So we can't go to Miami and use the Jam-Dex or CBDC. Think about it. We don't take our $J to Miami and use it to shop there. CBDC is not intended to replace cash, but to complement it, and is issued on a one-to-one basis with cash. That is, $1 of cash is equivalent to one amount of CBDC, value of CBDC, so to speak. So central bank, I'm putting up this slide because it is important. A picture is 1,000 words. Central bank digital currency is not cryptocurrency. It is a type of digital currency where cryptocurrency is one and central bank digital currency is another, right? It is not cryptocurrency. And persons will be thinking, so what, CBDC is not cryptocurrency? Why? Cryptocurrency, when we talk about cryptocurrency, it operates on a decentralized network. Cryptocurrency is not issued by a central authority, in our case, the Bank of Jamaica. CBDC is a liability on the central bank, right? You can hold the central bank responsible for it. Cryptocurrencies is a liability of the private issuer, which can be risky as sometimes it has no intrinsic value. When we talk about CBDC, it is a legal tender, just like your notes and coins, whereas cryptocurrency is not a legal tender in most countries, and therefore it is not accepted by merchants. Anyone can create cryptocurrency with the name of their choice. It is mainly used as a digital asset for trading and investment. Now, let me just say what is Bank of Jamaica's stance has been on cryptocurrency. The Bank of Jamaica, we are a very forward-thinking organization. And nonetheless, we have been saying to persons, we are not banning anything, right? We are not banning anything, but we are saying to you that you need to be cautious. We have put out public statement on virtual currency, just telling person to be cautious in the use of virtual currency. We have nonetheless, in recognizing that we're not going to tell Jamaicans we are banning anything, the Bank of Jamaica has, in, I think it was March 2020, what we did, we put out a BOJ FinTech regulator sandbox. And this is to build capacity on the on FinTech technology that we're seeing, because financial technology is not going anywhere. But we have been saying to persons, before you go out there with a payment technology, the Bank of Jamaica, we have a regulator sandbox where you can come in. We invite you in to come and test this technology. You have up to 24 months to test it. After testing, the Bank of Jamaica will say, okay, yes, this is something that you can, probably introduce to the public. So we are forward thinking in that, but at this time we are saying be cautious, Jamaicans, because cryptocurrencies are not backed by your central bank, the Bank of Jamaica. In the meantime, what we have been doing at the Bank of Jamaica has been very much involved in various regional working groups, regional and global working groups on fintech, on cryptocurrency, because you can't say something is bad unless you really understand it. So these are the things that we are doing, but we always saying be cautious. And CBDC is not cryptocurrency. Now, what motivated us to go along the route of you introducing a CBDC? The Honorable Minister Chuck said it. Digital transformation is recognized by the government as a catalyst of Vision 2030, which is a national roadmap for sustainable development. Financial inclusion, which is access by all, and I say all, to financial services and products, is a critical factor of Jamaica's digital transformation. Here at the Bank of Jamaica, we contribute to the government's financial inclusion strategy because the Bank of Jamaica serves as a technical secretariat of the country's national financial inclusion strategy. The national ID identification legislation will definitely play a major role in facilitating financial inclusion. Through the Central Bank Digital Currency Project, the bank will contribute to FI to financial inclusion process by enabling easy to obtain, simple and secure access to financial products and services to all Jamaicans. Now, this is just a quick view of the things that motivated our thinking when we're thinking of introducing CBDC. We wanted a digital fiat currency that is not interest bearing, and we can talk about that later if time permits. We wanted something that was tailored for Jamaica. We want something that is user-centric and easy access. We don't want something that persons find it very difficult, like rocket science to use. We want it to be simple. We want it to be interoperable, in that if I have a digital a CBDC wallet, say, for example, at one commercial bank, and another member colleague here has one at another commercial bank, we can transfer money with ease. So the two systems will be speaking to each other. There are anti-money laundering and counter-financing of terrorism issues. We want to make sure that that won't seep into our CBDC. We wanted a central bank digital currency that is operational 24/7, 365 days of the year. If you wake up in the middle of the night and you want to go and buy some pan chicken, say down by Redhills Road, right? You would normally have your cash in your pocket. Your CBDC will be able to do that any time of day. Instant processing of transaction. You want settlement finality, online, offline. Improve the currency management process. We wanted something to improve the currency management process. As you know, as central bank, we mint, we issue notes and coins. So we want something, and we don't mint notes, and we don't mint paper money here in Jamaica. It's all the way overseas. We want something to improve that, faster turnaround time. We want something to improve the currency management process in the banks. We're going to talk about that later, the high cost of couriers, etc., things like that. So cost was a very important issue. Now, you cannot talk about anything digital without persons talking, and rightly so, talking about cyber security and, of course, data protection. So all of those things came into when we're thinking about how we are going to design the CBDC. And we want something to further support P2P payments, person-to-person payment, person-to-business payments, person-to-government payments, government-to-persons payment, and vice versa. So that, in a nutshell, is the design when we were looking at introducing the CBDC. So in May 2020, Bank of Jamaica took the decision to introduce a CBDC as an additional means of payment, and we launched the project in July of 2020. The BOJ conducted a pilot in 2021, because what you're seeing out there now is something we just placed to the public. We piloted this, we tested it. We spent a long time in 2021 going through all of the testing. The phase, we are now in what we call phase national rollout, which commenced in 2022. We announced the name, logo, tagline to the public of our CBDC, and we didn't sit at the Bank of Jamaica and make this up. Persons may recall, we would have sent out, had a competition in Jamaica, and persons enter this competition with the right name, etc. And it came out that the name that was selected is Jamaica Digital Exchange, Jam-Dex for short. The logo is our national fruit. From the selection came out, the winning logo was our national fruit. And as Jamaican, we want something to be so Jamaican in terms of a tagline, and it can't get better than this: no cash, no problem. So the technology and the design is very important. Persons ask these questions. Jam-Dex utilizes traditional technology, right? To issue Jam-Dex, we did not utilize blockchain, because blockchain is something that is used with a number of other CBDCs that persons are thinking about rolling out in other countries. But BOJ, we took an agnostic and pragmatic approach with respect to the technology. Consequently, the solution that BOJ opted for adapts a traditional technology. We wanted something that would seamlessly interface with our real-time gross settlement system that was already out there, but was already being used by everyone. So we didn't want something that the banks would have to go and do any major redesign to. So we wanted something that could be easily integrated. And so in the procurement process for a technology provider, that was very important to us. But I want to hastily say this. The fact that BOJ did not choose a blockchain solution does not mean that there's an issue, that we have an issue with blockchain. No, we have no issue with blockchain technology. And the possibility exists that BOJ might use blockchain technology in other ways at some point in the future. The fact that blockchain is not being used at the source to mint and issue Jamaica CBDC does not prevent the wallet providers, and my co-presenter will be speaking on that afterwards. It does not prevent the wallet providers from incorporating blockchain in their network system to deliver Jam-Dex to their customers. So we had nothing against blockchain. So let's look at the technology. In a nutshell, let me quickly walk you through the technology and the design. We adopted what you call a two-tier system, right? In tier one, here we are, the Bank of Jamaica. We are the CBDC issuer. We issue Jam-Dex in the same manner which we issue notes and coins. We issue and redeem, and we mint. We have been issuing Jam-Dex through this is a piece of hardware. I'm not going to spend time to go into a deep technology this evening, but this piece of hardware here, I'm not sure you're seeing my cursor pointing, what we call a currency plate. we issue, redeem Jam-Dex to DTIs, to some entities that we call wallet providers, which are the DTIs, deposit-taking institutions, which are our commercial banks, merchant bank, building societies, and also we issue to authorized payment service providers who are authorized through their testing of their service in our sandbox. Now in tier two, these CBDC wallet providers, these Jam-Dex wallet providers, what they do, they will onboard and distribute CBDC Jam-Dex to businesses. They will onboard and distribute it to you. They will onboard and distribute it to government. And all of these persons over here are called CBDC holders. And what will we do with the Jam-Dex? We can do person to person. So I'll be able to send you phone to phone, Jam-Dex, phone to phone. I'll be able to purchase an item from a merchant, person to business. The government will be able to send, like, for example, path payments, other payments. Government is the biggest payer in any country. So they have payments. They'll be able to send payments to persons. So it all comes on right here in the CBDC holders. So the Bank of Jamaica, similarly to how that you will not come to Bank of Jamaica and say to Bank of Jamaica, I want to open a savings account. You will not be doing that. You're going to go to your wallet providers for that. And your wallet providers are your DTIs and your payment service providers. And of course, this is supported by the telecom providers in the country. All of this is supported by the two telecom providers. So let's talk a little bit about the wallet. In order for users or merchants to get a Jam-Dex wallet, they will need to contact the wallet provider. We said that earlier. To carry out Jam-Dex transaction anywhere and at any time, consumers will be able to access, download, and deploy a mobile wallet app on any mobile phone, tablet, or similar device using the network of both major telecommunication service providers. A Jam-Dex wallet, as I said, is different from a regular bank account and is much easier and simpler to obtain. You're going to find that when my colleagues from Link speaks. It's much easier and simpler to obtain with streamlined, simplified know your customer requirements. Customers will be able to top up their wallets with Jam-Dex through all authorized agents or smart ABMs and do business using Jam-Dex phone to phone with merchants, friends, and families. Jam-Dex can be used with anyone else who has a Jam-Dex wallet. And I said it earlier, our Jam-Dex, our CB is usable only in Jamaica. Can't go abroad and use it. Customers with an existing account, so I'm talking about your bank account now. Customers with an existing account in any bank will be able to transfer and convert funds seamlessly between their regular bank accounts and their CBDC wallets. Authorized payment service providers and DTIs will be able to onboard unbanked customers. And I pause here because I earlier said customers with existing bank accounts, but persons without bank accounts, because there are many Jamaicans who do not have a bank account, and we know that. You also can get your Jam-Dex wallet because we say Jam-Dex is for all Jamaicans. So what will happen for persons without a bank account, right? You're unbanked now. And persons say, yes, and at the central bank, we get we hear the concerns. Persons say it's difficult to get a bank account, etc. It's not so difficult now, but that's not the point I'm discussing today, so I won't get into that. But for unbanked persons, when setting up a Jam-Dex wallet, unbanked persons will need simplified know your customer information. What? Your name, your address, your TRN, and any government issued photo ID, your driver's license, passport, or your voter ID card, right? That's all you'll need to set up your Jam-Dex account, and Vernon will speak on that later. But it's I'm here telling you how to get the Jam-Dex, but the question I know you're asking, okay, who is going to accept it? Where am I going to use it? And that's where the merchants come in now. Each wallet provider is also expected, remember those persons, the DTIs, the commercial banks, etc., they're expected now to onboard merchants so that consumers can use Jam-Dex anywhere at any time. The bank has fully onboarded. At this point, we have onboarded NCB, who as at 18th of February 2023 reported that they have onboarded approximately 90 small merchants and 4,500 micro merchants. These micro and small merchants, and again, Verna will speak to that in further detail, include like some barbers, hairdressers, some of the fruit vendors, yes, coconut vendors, some people in entertainment, graphic design, food and beverages, consumer services, car wash, some route taxis in specific areas. These information as to the specific merchants on board, you can get this information on the website of Link, that has further details, and even on the Bank of Jamaica website. Now, those are the small merchants that have been onboarded. And let me just hastily say that I think it was in January on the 4th of January, the Bank of Jamaica would have sent out a news release that indicated that Jamaica National Bank also has been onboarded as a wallet provider. And they, in short time, you'll see their wallet out there also. And others are coming in, but they're all at various stages, right? But watch the spot very carefully this year to see as we onboard more entities, and they in turn onboard merchants. Now, these are the small merchants. What about the large merchants? We'll also be onboarding those during this year. Subsequent onboarding will also include, because remember I said we can use Jam-Dex for everything. So we have been speaking with various entities in the government, and they have been, the government has supported this 100%. Subsequent on board also include GOJ payments and receipts. And I spoke about welfare payments. We want, when you go to the toll, you can use your Jam-Dex, right? You just phone to phone, QR code, all of that. But I'm not going to get into those details today. Taxes, revenue, all of those things. It will take time, but we are going to get there. So, what are the advantages? The introduction of Jam-Dex brings a number of benefits to all users, the most noticeable being safety, convenience, and cost savings. Safety, users can benefit from enhanced safety when compared to physical cash. The Jam-Dex wallets cannot be accessed even if you lost your phone or it is stolen. God forbid it's stolen. Only those with your password or code has access to your money unless you tell them. Convenience. Jam-Dex allows for remote transfer of funds anywhere, anytime. This reduces the hassle faced with having to conduct cash transaction while face-to-face. Remember all those long lines during COVID time? Hey, Jam-Dex can solve that. Cost, just like cash, it will not cost you to use it phone to phone. Small and medium-sized merchants with a Jam-Dex wallet who was not in the formal financial sector now have a foot in the financial sector. And we know that there are other financial services and benefits that will now come to them because they now probably can go and get a small loan because they are now recognized as being in the sector. For businesses, we spoke about increased efficiency, significant reduction in cost for cash distribution and storage, and increasing the menu of services available to customers and an opportunity to innovate unique products. For the currency management system, which I mentioned already, increased efficiency for banks as they relate to the cost for handling cash and courier costs for distribution. Greater efficiency in the currency management process of BOJ, we can mint our own Jam-Dex here instead of waiting and placing an order for physical notes and coins for a long time. I indicated that we're introducing a new method of payment, interoperability between existing electronic retail payment systems. Security, we know, is a major key point of interest for Jam-Dex. It should be noted that there are different users of the system, and the level of security is different at each stage. Okay, so cybersecurity. When you talk about digitization, cybersecurity comes to mind. Bank of Jamaica, our current system, you know the Bank of Jamaica. Our current system, current cybersecurity framework is robust with multi-tiered and in-depth defense strategies, including independent vulnerability assessment and testing. We do independent testing on all our systems. Wallet providers are responsible for the security of their wallet system, which must adhere to international standard, NIST, PCI DSS, among others, and best practices as they do now with existing payment products. We have to see that they have done those independent assurance tests. Data privacy and protection, that is very important. People don't want their information to be exposed. Bank of Jamaica's Jam-Dex solution supports the protection of personal identity through built-in solutions such as encryption techniques, digital signatures, multi-factor authentication mechanism. The Bank of Jamaica will not have access to your personal identifiable information. Instead, that information will be held by your wallet providers in the same way in which, when you go to the commercial bank and you give them that information to open an account, it will be between you and your wallet providers, not between you and the Bank of Jamaica. Also, wallet providers are also required to conduct ongoing assurance tests of the overall security of their wallet environment. They need to give those assurance tests to Bank of Jamaica. We need to see that. We need to say, yes, you have done it, and you have done it in terms of the time schedule that the Bank of Jamaica has asked you to do. Anti-money laundering, the existing AML CFT regime that applies to reporting suspicious transaction, etc. Those things will still be in the system. We recognize the ability to pay. People would want to know, what about offline connectivity? The ability to pay when not connected to the main telecom system or where telecom access is patchy. It is important to note that we live in a hurricane environment. Sometimes we have hurricane. The likely effect on the entire ecosystem at the time when access to cash is critical. How is this risk mitigated? These are some of the things that we had to look at, and these are some of the solutions that we had to put in place. Wallets can be designed to facilitate the use of near-field communication, USSD, SMS to transact. No data is required for this type of activity. These mitigation strategies will include disaster recovery, site and business continuity, that if the primary site goes on, we'll have these during the hurricane, that the site will be kept up. And of course, the Jam-Dex is supported by the two telecoms, Flow and Digicel. The government has signaled its participation, its partnership with telecom and electricity providers in the rollout of its broadband infrastructure, particularly placing equipment on light poles. This will facilitate the sustenance of Jam-Dex for the public. The telecommunication providers have stated their commitment to support the Jam-Dex initiative through the use of their telecom rails. So all parties are on board. Now, you're hearing about some incentive payments. The government of Jamaica, in 2022, the government of Jamaica supported Jam-Dex by providing 2,500 JMD incentive to the first 100,000 Jamaicans who open a Jam-Dex wallet as of 1st of April 2022. It was all taken up. It was all taken up. In an effort to continue to incentivize small merchants to utilize Jam-Dex, the Honorable Minister of Finance and the Public Service announced on the 7th of March 2023 that the first 10,000 of these small merchants to sign up for Jam-Dex merchant wallet after March 31st, 2023 will receive a grant of $25,000, 25,000 to the equivalent in Jam-Dex. In addition, the minister had also announced a loyalty program where users can receive a 2% cashback for up to 5,000 monthly when using Jam-Dex for the financial year 2023-2024. We just want the public to see that is a payment that can be used, it can be spent, all right? And the government of Jamaica is really working with the Bank of Jamaica, to ensure that this is done. Importantly, I want to share with you, in December, in conjunction with the Constituency Development Fund and NCB linked teams, the bank successfully executed the Employment Generation Program, which we all know as Jamaican, we call it the Christmas Program, by facilitating payments to workers via Jam-Dex in December. This marks the first use of Jam-Dex to facilitate government payments. It's the first, and it ain't going to be the last. And which was a key use case for us. Over 100 workers and 70 merchants were registered within two targeted constituencies, because we were just running a small pilot then. But they were registered. A total of 72 persons received their wages in Jam-Dex, and to the value of $600,000. 600,000 worth of Jam-Dex. So Jam-Dex is alive and well, and it is being used, and it is being used. So what's next? And this is my last slide. What's next? Wallet providers. Bank of Jamaica will continue onboarding those wallet providers for this year. So you'll be seeing more wallet providers coming on. You'll be seeing more wallets that you will have a choice. You can have wallets with several different wallet providers. Because recall I said they're interoperable. They speak to each other. The wallets will speak to each other. So we'll be working on that for this year. You can't have Jam-Dex without the merchants. You need to be able to go and buy your regular places of shopping, your regular payments. You want to be able to use Jam-Dex for that. So apart from you, your friends and family members signing up for Jam-Dex wallets, wallet providers will be actively onboarding merchants, large and small, in your communities. Government payments, Bank of Jamaica will continue to work with government ministries, departments, and agencies to facilitate government payments via Jam-Dex. And those are some of the things we plan for this year. For any further information on Jam-Dex, you can visit our website, www.boj.org.jm. Click on Currency CBDC. You'll find a lot of information on Jam-Dex. We keep updated information as we go along. Or you can follow us on Twitter, of course, at Central Bank JA. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening, and thank you for understanding. And I tell you, go out there, find your wallet provider, and use Jam-Dex. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Dr. Panton. Jam-Dex is alive and well. Thank you for that presentation. In the interest of time, participants, we will take the questions at the end after Mr. James has done his presentation. At this time, we'll check in with Custos Bennett. Custos Bennett, are you able to?
Yes, I'm here. Are you hearing me?
We are hearing you loud and clear, Custos. Can you go ahead now in terms of your
Good evening.
Good evening, Custos Bennett.
Thank you, Dr. Panton, for this detailed presentation on Jam-Dex and how it will work to help us. Minister Chuck, officers from the Bank of Jamaica, fellow justices, good evening. On behalf of the Minister of Justice, my fellow custodians and justices, let me express gratitude for the opportunity to participate in this virtual sensitization session. We are really thankful to the Ministry of Justice, the Bank of Jamaica, TFOB 2021 Limited, and everyone involved in bringing to us this awareness session about Jam-Dex. I know Dr. Panton spoke about this. As you know, Jam-Dex Jamaica was launched on Monday, 11th July 2022. With this launch, users like ourselves, believe it or not, can transact business using Link e-money and Jam-Dex to pay for goods and services with over 2,000 merchants on the platform. It might be more. Jam-Dex is a digital Jamaica dollar and is issued by BOJ on an equal basis to the paper Jamaican money. It is stored in a digital wallet, which you were told, which is an app on a mobile device, such as your phone. It is said that this will make it easy for us to send, receive, and spend money. This digital means of transacting is promoted as inclusive, secure, convenient, affordable, and accessible. And I personally welcome it and consider it quite an achievement for our country. I must add that with the last two robberies and the shooting of security firm personnel delivering cash to institutions, I pray and hope that this Jam-Dex and Link platform and other platforms which may be approved later will help us to make for greater safety. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Custis Bennett. We will now hear from Mr. Vernon James. Mr. James is the Chief Executive Officer of TFOB 2021 Limited and the first digital financial service, otherwise called Link. Link is Jamaica's wallet, the first and only holder of Jamaica's central bank digital currency, Jam-Dex, and the first primary digital agent for remittance. Mr. James, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, Mr. Chuck, and all JPs present. Appreciate the opportunity to share with you today. Just gonna share my presentation. Hey, are you able to see my presentation?
Yes,
Vernon,
you're seeing.
presentation, Mr. James.
Okay. Since I'm moving. Okay. So, as Dr. Panton had said, we are Link. We are the first digital wallet. Up to last year, we were the one and only. But as Navlet is saying to you, there are others that are coming, and we welcome their entrance into the space. But what are we? We are an app. We're just like you, the wallet that you have, or in the case of the females, a purse that hold, your cards and so on. We hold value. So you can store your money in Link. You can make your transactions like bill payments. You can pay your mobile top up. And importantly, recently, you can receive remittances directly to Link. The Link is an evolution. We add features every month, but I'm just going to go into why Link and what was the aim of Link. And I'm going to be brief, recognizing that we're behind time. So I'll be brief. Okay. When we launched Link, the vision of Link was to drive financial inclusion. What has happened is that in Jamaica, you have many Jamaicans who we call unbanked and underbanked. Dr. Panton mentioned those. And the government and, in fact, the financial institutions wanted to find a very effective and efficient way of bringing these segments, into the financial landscape by allowing them to do basic transactions that everybody with a bank account is able to do. So what we had to do was to create an app that was simple and easy to use, to accelerate the penetration, the digital penetration in the space. That's exactly what we set out to do. We launched Link, the project, in 2020, right in the middle of COVID. And 3 years after, we have 205,000 customers and over 5,000 merchants on our app. We're going to get into that shortly. So the mission of Link is to empower the Caribbean people, because Link has ambition to be a regional app, to pursue their dreams by using technology to revolutionize finance. In a nutshell, what that is we want to bring the same convenience or better convenience that the banked population have to the unbanked. We believe that they deserve it, and it is our stated mandate to bring that access to everyone. So Link, like Jam-Dex, is for everyone. Link is quick. In a short while, I'll just show you what the onboarding process is. The aim of Link is to accelerate the pace of transactions in Jamaica, make it convenient, and of course, ensure that it is safe. And so we've strived to achieve all three in the app, and so far we have. So as I said, we have 205,000 customers. We have 5,000 micro merchants plus. We have 1.5 billion. It's more than that now. I have transacted on Link. We have over 100 businesses in our pilot Link-Biz platform. And we're the first wallet to carry the Jam-Dex, that lovely Aki logo that you see there. What do you need to start with Link? Now, this is what drives financial inclusion. To open a bank account, although these days you have simplified bank accounts too, but to open a bank account, previously you required a lot of things. Link makes it easier. You require a smartphone. It doesn't have to be a high-end smartphone. The low-tech smartphones currently issued by both the telco providers work fine with it. You need a TRN, and Link does a biometric onboarding process. So you need a face, and that is also what helps to secure you. If somebody steals your phone, we have two-factor or multi-factor verification. We have the biometric logon. We also require a PIN. So Link is as safe as any of the electronic platforms that people utilize in Jamaica today. And we're very proud of that. Once you open an account with Link, you can send and receive money to friends and family, easy. You can withdraw or deposit cash at NCB ABMs. So right now, one of the big features that we have is that you can go into an ABM. You don't need a bank card. Remember, Link is not a bank account. You don't need a bank account to open Link. You don't need a debit card. You just use your phone and you go through a process where you scan a QR code from the ABM and you can lodge, deposit, or withdraw from the NCB ABMs. When people do it, they think it's magic because they're so used to using cards. No. Link opens up the ABM network to the unbanked and underbanked. So once you have a Link account, you have access to the NCB ABMs. You can do simple cash in and cash out through the ABM, and so we bring that service to the masses of Jamaica. Once you cash in, you can pay bills, you can top up prepaid mobile. And as I said before, we have biometric encryption that governs the authentication. It is world class, and so far we've found that it's impenetrable. Newest feature, remittance. This is one that we're proud of, the most proud of now. So imagine you have relatives abroad, and what would normally happen in that journey, they send a remittance to somebody here. The person gets a code. They go to MoneyGram and they provide that code with their ID and so on and so forth. They go through a process and they get paid. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen those lines in front of the remittance companies. They're long. That process we've clocked can average an hour for that process end to end to happen. Now, what do? The process on the sender side, they send the money, you get a code, you take that code, you enter it into link. There's a section for remittance in link. You enter that code in link, and in less than 5 minutes, the money is in your account. Then, if the money is in your account, you can go to an ABM and you can withdraw that money, an NCB ABM, and you can withdraw that money. No lines, no wait, simple. And if you want to use it, you can use it and you can pay your bills, you can top up. You can use it at any of the merchants that we currently have onboarded. We have 5,000 micro merchants. We have 105 small merchants on our LinkBiz platform and growing. And stay tuned. We will soon have a feature that allows all of the large merchants to be utilized. So you can receive your remittance and you'll be able to go in any merchant that uses a point of sale that has near field communication, which is most point of sales, and spend, right? And it's a digital card. So that is coming soon. We look forward to that. That should be in the summer, but stay tuned for that. So that's the journey that we're looking at. We're looking at allowing the people to get all of their value digitally and to spend it wherever they want. If they need the cash, we hope they spend it in the app, but if they need the cash, they can go to an ABM and they can take out the cash. That's the journey that we have. Upcoming features, when we have new merchants, we have a nice, pretty green tick that says, I think it's a blue tick actually, that says that this is a link authorized merchant. So you can spend with a link merchant knowing with confidence that these merchants are authorized. It's just a way for us to give confidence to people to spend their money with link. Link cards I just mentioned, it's not a physical card, it's a digital card. So when you go and you want to spend, same phone you go and you tap and you pay. Quite a journey, but it's a nice journey and it's a much easier journey and it's a much more secure journey because it's cashless. No risk as it relates to having to move around cash. And as Novlet has said, we have CBDC interoperability. So we've already tested it with a particular wallet, and it is the intent that every wallet that comes into the space, every new wallet, will be interoperable with Link, so that you can transfer funds and so on between wallets seamlessly. So far, we've gotten some good reviews. Where as we roll out features and we iterate and we roll out more features, we improve on our features. It's been a generally positive experience. All right, LinkBiz, because that's where Jam-Dex, the focus of Jam-Dex is now. Last year, we had a Jam-Dex focus for customers. So the government, as Novlet said, did a $2,500 incentive for customers to use Jam-Dex, the first 100,000, and that was wildly successful. This is part 2 to get businesses to use Jam-Dex, and we want them to use it through our LinkBiz platform. So when the incentive is launched on April 1st, I'm not sure where the other wallets are, but certainly businesses will be able to sign up for LinkBiz and avail themselves of the $25,000 incentive, but more on that shortly. So our platform is a web-based platform that allows businesses to process payments, including Jam-Dex. So the platform will provide a convenient and secure option for payment. It's easy. You can track the payments that come in, refunds, transfers, through the platform. So we'll make it easier for the small businesses. And because we have largely the unbanked and underbanked, we bring our 205,000 customers to all of the merchants on our LinkBiz platform. It's a digital platform also, so end-to-end digital. So once you sign up for the LinkBiz platform, it's a cheaper way for you to receive payment. Certainly, I would think better than cash is much more convenient. Again, we offer digital payments, so you can accept digital payments through a QR code scanning interface. We have back office support, so you can properly track your transactions and your refunds, and be able to reconcile. Again, we're cheaper than traditional payment rails, and soon you'll be able to pay your staff through our bulk payment portal through our LinkBiz platform. Who are we targeting? Small business, small and medium. So barber shops, bars, cook shops, doctors' offices. We want to target those so that the people who they deal with likely are already customers of Link can avail themselves of their services digitally. Already we have some good partners on our LinkBiz platform, Fesco, T-Sport, 7 Crave. So we offer the convenience. Normally, you'd have to you need a card to be able to avail yourself of like purchasing online with 7 Crave and so on. Now you can purchase with Link. So for those people who didn't have bank cards before, Link to the rescue. To onboard for LinkBiz, we need your business registration and certificate of incorporation. We need proof of an active bank account, and we need a valid TCC or evidence that you have applied for your TCC. All right, let's talk the incentive. Novlet, Dr. Panton mentioned about the incentive for the merchants. The first 10,000 merchants that sign up for Jam-Dex through whichever platform, whether it's LinkBiz or another wallet, they will get $25,000. But there is a caveat, and this one was recently added. They need to do at least 5 Jam-Dex payments to qualify to receive the 25,000. And you can understand why. The government is trying to drive adoption of Jam-Dex. So what they want to do is to get merchants to incentivize their customers to pay them in Jam-Dex. And so they need to have at least 5 transactions to qualify for that $25,000 incentive. They also announced, as Novlet, as Dr. Panton mentioned, a 2% cashback loyalty program for all Jam-Dex purchases up to a maximum spend of $5,000 per month. So if you spend up to $5,000 per month with Jam-Dex, you get a 2% cashback loyalty bonus. So we want to partner. This group is a good group, I think, to help to evangelize this digital journey that we're on. And we do need your help, because getting Jamaicans used to doing business digitally, even with all that you say happening with cash and the security around cash, is extremely difficult. It takes a lot of hand-holding, and I think the leadership in Jamaica, led by the government and NCB, thankfully, need assistance to drive the adoption and the engagement of the currency. Now, I think Jam-Dex, I really applaud what the government has done with Jam-Dex. I think it's a bold move. We are one of the first in the world to do so, but it needs a traction within the space. We are committed to get Jam-Dex moving. So when we launch each feature with our merchants, Jam-Dex is an option for payment. Small, medium, and large, Jam-Dex will always be an option for payment. So you'll be able to pay merchants using Jam-Dex, which is what I think the Bank of Jamaica and the government must achieve. And we're committed to that partnership. But we do need your help to drive the education and the adoption across the country. So as brief as I could be, that's my discussion or presentation today. And I look forward to hearing your questions.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you again, Mr. James. And we note how simple the process is. All we need is a smartphone, our TRN, and our faces. So get on board. 2 questions so far on our YouTube. First question, how does Tax Admin Jamaica treat money coming into Jam-Dex wallets from third parties? And specifically, is it taxable?
I will leave that to Dr.
I think we answered that. I don't know if you're hearing me. We answered that in the YouTube. Someone answered it from BOG. And we said no, just a simple no.
Okay. All right, fine. All right, thank you. Any other questions? Can you please use the raise hand feature? We'll take a few questions at this time. We have one other question from Mary Allen. Please clarify the know your customer requirements, as this can be a challenge for the unbanked currently. Dr.
Well,
go ahead, Vernon, since you're onboarding.
To open an account with Link, we have 2 tiers. For simple transactions and for transactions below a certain size, all you need is your TRN and your face, and you can onboard. I think that takes you to transactions lower than $50,000. And if you want to do transactions higher than that figure, we have tiered KYC, then you need to provide your ID, and then there's a verification process that checks your ID. So the reason for that is that we wanted to get to everyone, and believe it or not, not everyone has a national ID, and the simplified onboarding allows onboarding with the TRN. So that's what you need to onboard at tier 1 and tier 2. You have to provide an ID, and if you're going to receive, for example, remittances, you have to be a tier 2 Link customer, not tier 1.
Hence why that also answer that. There's a question in the chat also, Vernon. Someone asked about the challenge with address, and Vernon has answered it very well, because I had responded. I think I responded to say that upon onboarding, this is what the wallet provider will at least respond to, because if you do, we know persons in Jamaica, you may not have an address, and I think persons are asking whether you have to go show proof of address, but it depends on what tier in terms of wallet that you're opening. So as Vernon has said, there are different tiers. So you may not need to give the address if you're doing just the TRN, the fees on board, right, Vernon?
Yes. That's
so it depends on what you're. So I suggest, please, when you're onboarding, you will have access to your wallet provider, and they will take you through that process. Because we don't want to leave anybody behind at this point. This is an opportunity for all Jamaicans.
Vernon, could I just ask a question quickly? If we open an X account, I'm Delroy Chuck here, Vernon, is it interchangeable with, say, if we have an account, say, at another bank or with your bank, so that if we want to move money from our account, NCB, to Jam-Dex and vice versa, is that possible?
Yeah, man, easily. So if you want to move your account, if you want to move money into Jam-Dex, well, what you have to do, if you want to move money into your account, you move money from your bank account, and you can move money from any bank account to Link, not just NCB. So if you have a Scotia account or a Sagicor, you can transfer your money into Link. And then once you do, you can convert that money into Jam-Dex. Link is a wallet. So, you know, the Jam-Dex is stored in Link, but you can convert it once you move the money in.
And if you have multiplicity of transaction between Jam-Dex, the wallet, and say your account, there's no cost.
No, there's no cost.
No cost.
There's no cost.
Change interchange one-to-one, seamless.
And the other thing is that in order to start the process, you have to go to an NCB bank to open your wallet, to start your wallet.
No, sir. No, man, if you want to, your whole process is on the phone here. So you don't have to, you never have to go into any bank or branch to deal with Link. The whole process is digital on your phone. It takes less than 5 minutes to open a Link account. So you don't have to go into the bank.
Jamaicans don't know, they think they have to go in
yes,
and facial recognition and give and so on. So you need to broadcast it a bit more to let people know they can go on your platform, download the Link platform, and then join them even without going into the bank.
Yeah, we are working on our communication and our marketing to that segment. So we take that, Minister. Just note that when you open a Link account, a Jam-Dex account is created automatically. So every Link account holder is a Jam-Dex account holder. And that was a decision we made to support the adoption of Jam-Dex.
So the first thing you need to do, though, Vernon, is to advertise how persons can download the Link onto their smartphone and join from there.
Yes, we have been advertising. I don't know if you've seen, we've been doing a lot of advertising.
Okay.
For the Link wallet. But yes, sir, we take your advice and we'll ensure that that we amplify our messaging to the public.
And what I'm going to do for you, and I hope all the JPs will agree with me, we're going to ensure that all JPs have a digital wallet, and so that they can lead within your communities.
Yes.
That is excellent, Honorable Minister, because if a JP in a community can walk through the process in the community, to be much easier than even, with all the respect to, than even Link personnel. So that should be because people know the JP within the community. So that is excellent, Vernon, what Minister just said.
Yes.
So what we may well do is, Vernon, I will be in touch with all the custodians, and maybe you and some of your persons in the different parishes can meet up with the custodians in each of the parish and get 20, 30 JPs at a time so that they can understand the process. Because don't care how you explain, and you have done an excellent job in explaining. There are still oldsters like me who need to through the step by step to get it done, okay?
Take that, Minister, and we will do so. My marketing team members are here, so we take that, we will do so.
Obvious, because I want all my GPs to really link up with digital currency and the technology being afforded.
Yes. Yes. I see somebody put in the chat there about Link's wallet, and we're a Link. The tendency of Jamaicans is to call us Links, but we are actually LYNK.
Okay, we have one more question in the chat. My niece tells me that she had signed up and was using the platform. However, she has forgotten her password, and since she has not been able to access her account, since then, she has not been able to access her account. She was advised that there was no way for her to regain access with the password, meaning that her Link account is unlocked, nor can she be assisted to get her password changed. Is this correct?
No, we have account recovery. So if you forget your password, we have a method to get you back on the platform. What I would ask you to do is if you could share that with me offline, we'll resolve it for her. But yeah, man, link is built so that if you forget your password or your phone is stolen or so, you can quickly get back onto link. There's no permanent lockout in case you have a bad event happening to you and you lose your phone or your password. So we account recovery can handle that process.
Thank you, Mr. James. We'll now go to Miss White, Cover White. You've had your hand up for a little while. Can you go ahead with your question, Miss White?
It's Mr. White.
Mr. White, sorry.
Thank you very much, and good night to everybody. I just want to add my own feelings about links and the Jam-Dex, the digital currency. I like it. From day one, I was on board. When it was being offered to the public, I was one of those persons trying to get other persons to get on board. And for the most part, some persons wanted to get on, and a lot of persons I think are a bit apprehensive about the whole system. And I think that is still happening. The problem that I'm having, and like I said, I really, really enjoy using it. And the only problem I really have, well, there are two problems I have. One is that I can't get enough persons to get on to allow me to use the system the way that I'd want to. Like when I go to the barber, for example, I would prefer to pay by pay through my link wallet rather than go to the ATM, because most people don't like to join lines, and I'm one of those persons. So using the wallet would be much better. The other problem that I'm having is probably about 6 months ago, I tried to put it on another device. So I had it on my phone, and then I tried to put it on another device, and there seems to be something that wasn't working too well between the both of them. So I got locked out of the system, and I've been trying to get back on for some time now. And all that is allowing me to do is it's asking me to put back my email address in, and then it asks me to go through the facial recognition thing. And then after that, it carries me right back to the beginning again. Email, facial recognition. I cannot go any further than that. And I think the only other recourse I had was to try and communicate with somebody online about the problem. And I wasn't getting very far with that. So I'm hoping that I can get some kind of way of getting around that problem. But other than that, I really enjoy using it.
Well, we appreciate that. Mr. White, sorry about that cover. And we can, I don't know what happened there, why you were not able to get back on. Again, we will take your name, and if possible, offline, if we can get your number, we will sort that out for you. There's no permanent locking out of links, so something must have happened in that journey that we have to correct. So we appreciate that you enjoy using it, and we will get you back on link as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you very much.
We will now take two final questions. Firstly, from Mr. Wesley Cunningham, and then from Ms. Grace Lee. Mr. Cunningham, can you go ahead with your question, please?
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank you for this platform this evening. Indeed, I will join with Mr. White just speak a while ago that there was at first when I tried to sign up, there were some hiccups where I had difficulty signing in, and after doing that, I had difficulty also to transfer from one device to another after getting a new device, and I was being locked out. But thankfully, I am able to get back in, right? And the system is good. Another thing that I love about this is that it helps to protect you when you're signing up. If the photograph is blurry, then I mean, it's not going to be accepting it. So I use that to encourage others to say, listen, even your photograph, if it's blurry, nobody won't get into it.
You mean the ID?
The ID.
Yeah, man. So if you're doing a tier 2 onboarding, yes, you have to take the picture so that it's very clear, so that the verification process can be completed. That has been an issue with the onboarding. We've improved it, but you have to ensure that the picture that is taken is very clear.
I discovered that. Thank you so much.
Good to know that you're enjoying using the app.
Indeed, sir. But as Mr. White say, I'm taking the tax and so forth. You don't find anybody accept it.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Thank you.
You are most welcome.
Ms. Grace Lee, over to you now for your final question. Ms. Lee? Not hearing you. Okay. Minister, any final words?
Thanks, CTD. I just want to thank the presenters and thank all of the persons who joined us on the platform and in virtual space. I just want to emphasize that I have not yet joined up, Vernon, and I will be in touch with you to make sure I can join up properly. And I'm going to get everyone at the Ministry of Justice to sign up. So I may well ask you to come there, and then I will ask the custodians to be in touch with you or others to make sure they get more 20 people every month to sign up. Because the more people sign up, the easier it is for us to transact business. So thanks again, presenters, and please let this be the beginning of the continuing revolution to get our people into the digital age. And this simple cashless system is a way for us to understand that digitizing is coming. We're shortly going to go paperless across Jamaica. And before you know it, we want to be cashless. Thanks again, everyone, for being with us on this evening sensitization.
Thanks for having us, Minister.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you to our presenters. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for participating in this very informative session this evening. To all of you, walk good, and remember, sign up for Link, sign up for Jam-Dex. Have a good evening.